as far as like the spiritual aspect goes, I know that you just recently did 10 grams. Yeah.
I did.
Wait, 10 grams of what?
Mushrooms.
At the same damn time?
I did 10 grams of mushrooms in one trip.
Hey. So we...
Wow. Should we clap?
Should we pray?
I don't know. I just want to know, was it like in a shake or was it like fried? Like
I got 10 grams that I had albino penis envy, and if you know
penis, so that's stronger
penis
than regular?
envy, yeah. Well, I don't necessarily say that it's stronger than regular, but penis envy in general is like that's the one. It's like one of the top strongest strains.
Yo, welcome back to the Lum LaL show. I'm your host, Bilal Ray.
And it's your boy, Pharaoh Lum.
And we got a special guest.
Returning special guest.
Hey, clap it up.
Dosh is back.
We got the homegirl Dosh back in the building. How you feeling today, Dosh?
I'm feeling great. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, we happy to have you.
Happy to have you.
Definitely.
I like the shades.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just giving model. It's giving model. It's giving fashionista.
Last time I felt left out because y'all was, you got
got-
your
yeah,
glasses, your
yeah,
frames,
yeah.
you got your shades. I gotta, you know what I'm saying?
I need to get some new frames. I ain't gonna holler. I ain't gonna play with you. I need I like having like 4 or 5 glasses, even though I don't wear them all.
Yo, do you think, just in general, and pausing this question, do you think, as just for yourself, you think you look better with glasses on or without? When you put glasses on, you feeling like...
Peep, I've had glasses since I was 9.
Yeah, you have every day I've known you had
for
glasses.
me, without glasses, I don't think I look crazy without glasses. It's just that I know I can't see properly. If I could see, I would switch it up.
Yeah, I be feeling like I be having some clear frames. I don't be wanting to bring them out because I feel like we gonna clear frame niggas to death from the pod and bring them out at the same time.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, I be feeling like I look a little
Clear
studious.
frame
I feel like I
niggas
look a little different. It adds like a little bit of, you know what
I mean, it definitely adds a little
if they're nice
pizzazz.
frames, you know what I mean?
I can see that for you.
Little
I
pizzazz.
can see that.
I be trying to keep them in, you know what I'm saying, bring them out every once in a while, you know.
Like with the green joints, I feel like it's giving like I need to give her a business card. Like she need my business card or something.
Start wearing these every day.
Yeah, facts. So today I just wanted to dive into talking about life's journey. I feel like that's the theme that was on my mind and my heart when I was thinking about today's pod. And I wanted to start off by asking you, how has your journey to womanhood been like? Like, what was it like being young Dosh up until this point?
Takes me about 31 years.
I know, right? Like,
yeah. Tell me your life story.
When did it? I definitely did hit you with that. But I mean, it was just something that was on my mind.
I think my journey kind of has always been about me realizing that like it's okay being me. Like sometimes I kind of feel different or weird, especially growing up. And I feel like when I was younger, I did a lot of trying to fit in. And now it's like, I'm not trying to stand out. It's just sort of just going with the flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Being who you are.
My 20s really shaped me. They changed me. Some difficult relationships definitely like changed the whole how I look at life, even like kind of the direction of my life, and also how I empathize with other women. I feel like I have so much empathy for so many women, regardless of the situation or what stage they are in life. I feel like there was a lot of women there for me, and I feel like I want to be there for a lot of different women too. So definitely my 20s changed me. Now that I'm 31 though, I'm feeling real lost, but free.
Lost but free.
Like not
Let's
lost,
talk about that
but
freedom.
like it's more freedom.
You're still on a journey. Like, and it's okay to continue to be on a journey.
And I feel like, honestly, even though it probably sounds taboo to a lot of people, those things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, lost.
That's
and
what
free.
I'm saying.
They go,
like,
to be a little lost
you
and to have
gotta be
freedom
a little lost to be free.
You do, because if everything's secure, like, do you really have that? If you know exactly what you're doing and you feel like, okay, I'm certain of X, Y, and Z, are you really free?
Man,
if you know what your next, I'm saying 2-3 years is going to be exact, are you really free?
Yeah.
You're not really free.
That's a great point.
And I had this theory, low key, about freedom where I feel like people confuse peace and freedom.
Yeah.
I feel like freedom, and this is not like, I'm not putting a negative spin on it, but in reality, to me, freedom is chaos.
Yeah.
It's my favorite word.
It is.
For real,
it's my favorite
I feel
word.
like freedom is just everything available and happening simultaneously.
Yes.
You have the freedom to truly choose. There's no one like hampering your options, or there's all these avenues of life for you to experience, and some people can't handle that chaos. But once you decide your direction, that's where peace comes from.
Yeah.
That's how I look at freedom.
I think peace is only comes after battle.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So so I feel like that is something you got to fight for.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's derivative or like the polar opposite of the World War. So it would make sense that you have to have one before you have the. You know what I mean? That's definitely.
Definitely.
That's definitely deep. And the peace and the freedom come with chaos things.
Freedom is chaos.
That's true. That reminded me.
You know
I was watching this
Facts.
show on Apple. It's called the Silo. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's about
Heard of it? I ain't seen it.
a big ass silo, and I won't spoil anything.
Oh,
for y'all.
yep.
But it's basically all these people are in the silo for as long as they've known. They've been there. Don't nobody know why they there. Don't nobody know who built it. All they know is if they were to go outside, the world is completely toxic to mankind for them to survive. So everybody there just lives, and they're like, they praise the silos to the point like the silo is like a god. So every once in a while, you know, there's like a screen where you could look outside, and it's weird because everybody just kind of wonders exactly what goes on. And every once in a while, there's always a person who rises up and kind of peeks into stuff, and there's like, yo, I want to go outside. And everybody's just looking at them like. And when they say that, it's like a funeral almost because they dress you up and they put you on a thing. But it's just like that freedom. It's like you're there, you're contained and you're detained and you can never leave this silo. And there's no freedom there. But with that lack of freedom comes a sense of peace almost for real. Because there's no unknown for you. Yeah,
Normalcy,
a sense of normalcy, consistency. With that comes like safety. Safety, you know what I mean? Safety makes you, it breeds complacency. So you don't want to strive and you don't want to risk and you don't want to do anything. So if you're content with just being here for the rest of your life, you will always be safe. But it's like some of those people, even in that silo, even watching people go out in suits and pass out, some people's like, nah, this don't really sit right with me. Like, I want to go outside.
I feel like being safe from harm also is being safe from growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, when we think about the journey of life, I feel like every advancement I've made with my mind or anything, any aspect of my life has always come with some type of pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in that pain, you find like truth, if you will, or you find like a version of yourself that you didn't know you could embrace or something like that. And so, yeah, when I'm thinking about my journey is kind of like entrenched in like trying to bloom into a man. And I've always wondered, I mean, I asked this question, I feel like, at different times to different women in my life. My mom, my grandma, my boo. And just like, what is womanhood? How do you define that? Like, how do you show up in your own like skin to be a woman? What is that?
As you was talking, I was just thinking of how growing up, everybody always kind of told me, you know, sort of what it's like to be in a relationship or how you should go about life or what type of friends you should have, what type of things you should do. And I think kind of womanhood is going against that, thinking that you know everything and trying it your way and going out into the wild and figuring some things out and then coming back and it's like, you know what, you're right. And plus, I'm going to add this to it as well.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of...
Finding your own way, like journeying off.
You got to journey off, but then you come back to the community and you got so much to offer. Like once you go out on your own and figure stuff out, like I had a relationship in my mid-20s. It's my kid's dad. Very toxic. Abusive even. And the way that thing shaped me and changed me and transformed me, and I wasn't going through it with like my mom or my sisters. Like I was in that relationship isolated by myself. And the way that it kind of just turned me inside out, I feel like that, I'm sorry, that made me a woman. Like kind of that pain, that overcoming, like that's definitely part of the journey. Yeah.
I think that when you're not just saying that, like those journeys of those toxic journeys be wild. Those toxic journeys be wild, and when you bloom from it, you realize like you're like, oh, I'm a whole new motherfucker for real. Like the things that I just like learned and experienced, like it's really like an awakening for real. Yeah. I wanted Lum to hit you with his chicken in the farm theory. We just talked about it last week with Dante, but I'd like to get Dosh's.
I ain't stopped thinking about
the chicken in the farm.
I ain't stopped thinking about it.
Like, go ahead, bro.
It drew my interest because we had the theory about just talking about aliens. And at first, I just wanted this the origin of. We were talking about aliens, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, yo, the main thing that would happen if like an alien ship actually like showed itself is like you will see mass religious people just jumping off of buildings. I'm like, in my mind, I feel like you'll just see people at the Vatican diving off like it's like 9/11 type shit. Like, I think it'll be insane. But I seen somebody else kind of challenge the theory that scientists and all that and people rooted in logic aren't really that sound, and there's ways that they could basically be forced to that point too, or forced to a point to question everything. And the chicken and the farm theory was basically presented. I'm trying to think of it was a philosopher who presented it, but I was watching a dude present it on Joe Rogan. And he basically said, like, think of us as all chickens in the farm. You know what I mean? We're all chickens in the farm, and every day at 12 o'clock, we get feed. You know what I'm saying? Feed comes through a little tube. Every day, 12 o'clock, it hits on the dot. Week 1, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock feed comes. The third week, the smartest chicken in that farm starts to put it together. Like, okay, every day when the sun's the highest and it's this time, we get fed. So to him, that's law. After a while, he studies it, he proves it, he puts it in the theory. It's as simple as, like, if I told you, yo, gravity makes everything drop, and that's why nothing floats, and I held my phone and dropped it, you know what I mean? That would be like his theory. So he gets to the point where that theory is in scientific fact in his world. Every chicken in there agrees on it. It's complete logic. It can't be challenged, and that theory is solid in nature until the day that Thanksgiving comes. And then when Thanksgiving comes, the feed don't come. You know, guys come in and all of a sudden all the chickens is getting handed out. Everybody's getting slaughtered. And then the chicken who was there, who had the theory, everything figured out, was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I thought I had everything figured out. So it's basically always having that theory of, it's basically the theory of wondering, like, if all of us could actually be chickens in the farm, if, like, the facts and the logic and all the data and the research we did is actually equaling what we're equaling. Is gravity, or is there a farmer up there just being like, hi, I'm gonna let these little chickens think there's gravity?
So one of my favorite meditations is to try to think of, what would I believe if nobody ever told me what to believe?
Yeah.
Like, I'll lay there and think about, if nobody ever told me what the sun came from, what would I think about the sun?
Yes.
What myths would I come up with? What stories would I tell myself? If nobody told me that water was the best for me, how could I figure it out on my own?
Yes.
Like, how many glasses would it take to drink to figure out this was the healthiest thing?
Yeah.
And I feel like if we kind of just start there, it's no answers.
Yeah.
We don't get the answers, but we're not stuck thinking that we know everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we start to see all of the different possibilities.
Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities. And like we said, with the unknown comes fear. That's why a lot of people, if you challenge their beliefs, they get really hostile and they start wanting to argue with you. It could be anybody. It could be somebody from the scientific community you trying to tell about aliens, or a religious person that you trying to tell about some legend in Africa of like a mink or something. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, people get really astute and they get really strong in their beliefs because the unknown is like, it's fearful for a lot of people. Like, you got to be, like you said, like, to be free, you have to kind of be lost.
And
you
I
know
also think, though, like, so essentially what I just heard was, like, naturally we probably already accept that we are on some level on the farm we don't understand.
Absolutely.
Like,
I feel like
that's in our nature.
I believe in that
to
theory.
accept and understand.
I believe in that, the chicken and the farm theory. Like,
but I
think
feel
we're
like
chickens.
when we get to the point of like trying to understand and say we know is when we start to have people follow us. Like as a person that collects people, when people start to be like, oh, you're my leader, why is this happening? Then you start to try to like give people an answer. You know what I mean? You start to try to use what you feel like you know as law. Yeah. And then that's when people become established in this realm of thought.
Yeah, people want belonging and they want that safe feeling. Like, I seen how that was years and years ago. I've had 3 different women I talked to who have no clue, they don't know each other at all, to tell me I should start a cult.
Oh God.
Like 3 different women. Like, one,
this is where a gunshot goes. So I should start a cult.
Like, literally, like, my most recent ex told me I should start a cult. A girl I talked to 3 years before her told me I should start a cult, and a girl I talked to in my teenagers told me. Let's
go to the verbiage real quick. Did they say you could, or you have the charisma to, or it was like, or did they say you should?
It was like that. It was basically all 3 of them was like, you know what, you should. And I always, and I'm gonna be 100% frank with you. It could be an overconfident thing, but I always thought in the back of my mind, if I really wanted to, I'm like, I could, just because I understand the mindset of how people are scared with not knowing, and I understand how enthusiasm. Let's be frank. I feel like, you know, the fact that Barack Obama was a good president or not is like been up in the air. But we got a dude who won a presidency on charisma.
No, he started a cult and
he
wanted to become a president.
Yo, he won a presidency on charisma. There's people who didn't know a single thing he stood for. But when he came out there and did his little, you know what?
They didn't know nothing.
Listen, I was voting for the nigga no matter what he said. I'm gonna be frank with y'all. It was my first election. He could have came out there like chitty chitty bang bang. I would have been like, I'm voting for the nigga. Charisma goes a long way, and when people are lost, they wanna feel something. something. And when they feel like their dreams have been shattered and are looking for something to believe in, all it takes is that warm voice and that hand on your back to be like, you know what? You should follow me because I know a way to go. And I feel like those people are the sickest.
I was just about to say, those are spiritual narcissists.
And that's why I'm always
this
like,
is the word I'm
yes.
getting. This is spiritual narcissism.
Yeah, when they say that to me, I'm like, those people are so sick.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Spiritual narcissism.
I've been waiting to say that the whole time. Every time I look at a cult leader or religious leaders, it's like, you know, no judgment, but just how you said, you know what? I could get people to do what I want them to do. I can have people follow me. I could write this down. I know that it's not that simple, but at the end of the day, I feel like they feel like they have the answers.
Absolutely.
And it's scary to me when somebody feel like they have answers. I like questions more than answers.
I like questions more than answers. And I find that whenever there's been moments in my life where I found profound truth for myself. And I realized that those moments did not immediately follow with me trying to get other people to understand how I felt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like when you have a real truth, you're not trying to recruit motherfuckers to your truth.
Exactly. And you don't need to argue with anybody or have them believe you or come on your side to make what you feel more valid. That's when they said that. I'm like, I don't even feel like people who are leading cults really feel like they know. I feel like they just know that sensitivity inside people. I feel like they're lying to themselves every day and they just don't care, but they know certain people's going to follow them. And I feel like that's sick. To me, if you actually feel like you know, you're probably mentally ill. You're a dangerous type of mentally ill. But I feel like a lot of these people know for a fact. I don't think they have any real belief. I don't think half of these people believe that they're Messiah. But I feel like, I know these people need somebody to look up to and people who need somebody to follow. And I can get 50,000 people to give me $1,000 and move to Wisconsin on the floor.
That's all the call is.
And it's sick. Yeah. It's sick to me. That's why every time somebody said, it was always offensive to me. I'm like, you just think like I'm the type of person who would just want to go out and like find insecurities in people and then pluck them and manipulate. Because to me, that's a different type of
But then we gotta ask ourselves: is there certain things? Are there good and bad cults? Of course, we know that because cult has a negative connotation already. We're thinking of the Jim Joneses. We're thinking of the Charles Mansons. But you know Sadhguru, the Indian dude over in India, who people say he has a cult, and really it's a bunch of volunteers growing food. They don't have anything violent going on, but you could still say it's a cult. Yeah, you could. So I'm wondering,
what draws the line? Because is Christianity a cult for us?
Right, exactly. What draws the line?
What makes something a cult and what?
Right. I think what draws the line is, I would assume, is the presence of violence. I would assume.
Or, I guess abuse can fall.
And I don't know because I've never, you know what I mean? Abuse, presence of violence, people being mistreated or victimized in any type of way.
Just trying to be taken advantage of. Now, when they said cult, I didn't think anything positive. I don't know if I would ever come to a belief system myself where I would feel so strongly about it that I would actually want to obtain followers. But I don't know. Even when we talk about business music-wise, whether it be a pod, an album, a song, I'm never a fan of asking people to get on a boat if I don't know where it's going in general. I'm just not that. I don't even do that.
I need to know A to Z for myself
I'm not
before I even have a conversation.
Swear to God, if I don't know this boat's going to the other side or the other side is going to be better for everybody, I'm not asking you to get on. I'm never going to come and present nobody nothing where I don't know the other side. It's crazy. That's like, all these dudes are just like dude from Fire Fest, low-key, but with God. They're just fire festing God. They're like, or the belief of people. They're like, they're building it up and building it up and building it up. But to me, I don't know. I don't be wanting to shade people, but it just be astonishing to me how easily certain people give up money.
People have traumas. People have emotional traumas, and I feel like the basis of a narcissist is, I just kind of learned this from TikTok, but what TikTok told me was that a narcissist's trauma starts in childhood, and it starts with feeling like their parents abandoned them, and so it's like as you grow up, a spiritual narcissist, somebody who was dealing with abandonment, what do they want? They want company. They want people to be there, and then people who deal with kind of the same type of traumas and all different type of traumas in childhood and relationships, people want to feel understood and they want to feel loved and they want to feel like you know something that they don't. They want to feel like somebody somewhere knows something that they don't, and if I can just follow you, then everything will be okay.
Exactly. I can not have to worry about nothing else. For real.
This is a whole side note, but this is why I'm in favor of people like reading or just like indulging in stories. But I'm thinking specifically about anime, low key. But the reason why I say that is because there's been moments in which I felt the opposite. Like anytime I felt alone or abandoned, I felt that in this moment it was important for me to not allow that feeling to direct my action. And it made me feel strong by not feeling not diving into the weakness of collecting people so I feel good.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm wondering what moment, like, how does that moment change? Like, how does the reverse happen for somebody where it's just like, I want people around and I don't care what happens, and then, you know, when people try to back away, they're like guilting them, like, oh, you're gonna leave me, and it's just like, bro, like, what? How did you get there?
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
companionship is like, or the need for companionship. I think it makes people make some really deadly like sacrifices for what they can.
Companionship is one of the
You know what I mean?
one of the highest human needs too, though. Like, it's
absolutely.
like it's air, water, food, companionship. Like, it's really. Yo, I know the pod is getting good, but we have a message from our sponsors. Did you know that only half the adults with mental illness actually get treated?
Or the 2.5 million youth in the U.S. actually suffer from severe depression?
Our sponsors, the House of Wax, is raising awareness of mental disorders through knowledge, education, and music as a collective resource hub.
So let's normalize talks about mental health. To continue to raise awareness, for resources, visit the house at waxmentalhealth.org. And if you know someone in crisis, make sure you tell them to dial the crisis hotline at 988 because you are not alone.
Companionship is probably number one, because as a
It might
baby, if
be,
you don't got the companionship, you ain't getting the food
That's
or the
facts,
water
that's facts.
or the anything. Companionship is
like
number one.
So
No,
important.
no,
People
real
meet
shit.
other people.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you'll make a bad choice. Just in real time. I'll be frank with y'all. Like I made a bad choice the other day, like literally yesterday. I feel like about the need for companionship because I was like, I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, getting fresh out of a relationship. I ran into somebody who, in my mind, I should have never.
You gonna see this like,
that's
how you feel.
It's cool.
That's how you feel.
It's cool. It's cool because I shouldn't have been talking. I shouldn't have been talking to.
Yeah.
I ran into somebody who like I shouldn't be talking to. Somebody who
You was
like
lonely.
numbers I shouldn't be exchanging.
Yeah.
And you know my little fucking thotty ass went over there. Hey, how's it going? I ain't gonna lie, I didn't go over. First I stayed, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna chill, I'm just gonna do my thing. Yeah, man. And of course, you know, she come over, hey, how's it going? You know, I was thinking about hitting you the other day, da 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 da. Before I know it, you know, I'm texting and I'm like, yo, this is just not a good decision. Like, but it's like my body was moving and my mind's like, yo, this is not a good decision. You already went down this road. You know this ain't a good decision already.
Right.
Like, you
That's
shouldn't
not where
even
you wanna
be.
be at,
But
yeah.
yeah, companionship is one of them. Is one of them needs. And I be the main one talking shit. You fucking with that nigga because you shouldn't be fucking with him. He's below you, or you shouldn't be fucking with her, bro. Da 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 da. But at the same time, companionship. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to tell myself you can't be so quick to judge people sometimes because when you're in them certain situations and shit, you know what I mean. You never know. Like it could be worse, but at the same time, in my mind, I'm like, this isn't like a
Companionship is
good idea.
definitely one of the things you learn about on your journey of life. You know what I mean, and how to be your own companion. But as far as like the spiritual aspect goes, I know that you just recently did 10 grams.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Wait, 10
I
grams of
did
what?
Mushrooms.
At the same damn time?
I did
At the
10 grams of
same
mushrooms in
time.
one trip.
Hey. So we.
Wow. Should we clap?
Should
Should we pray?
I don't know.
I just want to know, was it like in a shake or was it like
So,
fried? Like
I got 10 grams that I had albino penis envy. And if you know,
Penis, so that's stronger
penis
than regular?
envy, yeah. Well, I don't necessarily say they're stronger than regular, but penis envy in general is like
That's the one.
That's the one. It's like one of the top stronger strains. Not maybe the top, but definitely all penis envies are going to be strong. So I had some albino penis envies, and I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I had already planted this, and I put it in a blender and grinded it up. And I had some organic pineapple juice, and I mixed it in there, and I gulped it down. It was disgusting.
I bet.
It was so nasty.
I bet.
Yeah,
It was so nasty, and so I think my trip lasted. So I took them about between 6:30 and 7, and I was pretty high all day, but like from 7 to 1 was probably the most intense. And the first couple hours, it's like, you know, kind of almost like if you took an AFI, like, oh, this is fun. This is nice. Little cute little visuals. Like, I was walking around the house touching my plants like, this is nothing. This is a cakewalk. I remember I Googled cakewalk. I'm like, oh, this is a cakewalk. What's a cakewalk? Piece of cake, walk in the park. This is a cakewalk.
Exactly what's happening.
I go upstairs.
That's how you know you was fucking going. That's how you know you was going.
Cake walk
She's
in
like,
the
oh, this
park.
is a cakewalk. What is a cakewalk? Yep, this is a cakewalk. This is absolutely a cakewalk.
This is a cakewalk.
And so my little sister was home with me just for a couple hours. She had to leave at like 10:30. So before she left, she came upstairs and checked on me. And I looked at her, and her face was just falling off and kind of just falling. And she was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm okay. Yeah. This feels so good. Like, the 10 grams is not as strong as I thought it was. I could take it. You could take it. I'll just be your sitter. You could take it." When I say as soon as she left, them shrooms hit. I don't really know what to say.
So what was walk us through the feels first. What was the emotion?
The emotion was, oh shit, you did it this time.
You did it.
You really did it. You pushed the limit, and you might have did too much. Matter of fact, you did do too much, and oh my God, like, I got kids, and their mom went crazy, and I lost my mind, and I feel so bad that they'll never have their mom again. Like, it's like, I'm so hot, and I'm so gone. I'm like, my mind is gone, and it can never come back. And there was like a lot of guilt there, like thinking that I wasn't going to be the same person as I was before. In a lot of ways, I'm not the same person, but I am the same person. But like during the trip, it was like, man, it was insane. The visuals, the feelings. I think one of the main feelings I had was that I lost my mind. That was real important. I want to say that. I feel like I lost my mind.
That's the beautiful stuff, though.
It was scary though, feeling like you can't grasp it. There was nothing to grasp onto. Like,
some things you gotta lose your sanity for. Like,
I definitely lost.
Some things you gotta lose your sanity.
It was one of them things. Because you can't be rational, man. Like,
not with everything. You can't.
Not with everything. Because you can't just. Everything's 1 + 1. It just don't make sense sometimes. It just don't equal up like what it should be. So I'm listening to this. I'm like, oh, I know what that feels like.
I kind of feel like I went. I don't know. I'm just using words because I don't know. Like an in between space, in between this world and maybe the invisible world. Like, I was kind of right there in the middle, and I seen and felt everything. So my ancestors came to me. They came to me in a big group of women that filled up the whole entire room, and they kept saying, "Oh, you thought we wasn't here. Oh, you thought that we wasn't always behind you. You thought that we wasn't protecting you. You thought we wasn't watching. You thought we didn't see that thing. We're always here." And it was so much love. Like, so That's much good. Love. And that was the good part. There was also a part where, I don't even know if all right, let's just keep it real. Podcast. Death came to me. And the spirit of death, it was kind of like a trickster. And he was trying to convince me to, like, might as well just go ahead and die. Like, life is boring. Like, life is boring. It's going to happen. You're going to work a job. You're going to get a paycheck. You're going to wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep. You're going to get old. And it was like death, though. You don't know what's going to happen. You could wake up in a different life. You could be in a different dimension. And it was scary because death was convincing. I'm like, you know what? That sounds
death
like...
is comforting.
But I kept saying, like, out loud, like, on my lips, like, I love my kids. Like, I love my kids. And it was almost like I was trying to convince myself because I didn't feel anything. Like, I know I love them kids. I got to, right? I love them kids.
I must.
I must love them children.
I love them kids.
I'm sure I do. I can't. I know I do.
There you go. I love them kids.
I do. I got it together. I love them
They
kids.
helped me. Just the thought of them kind of, they were like my grounding force all throughout the trip. And some spirits came to me of some people that passed on. And I'm not even like a type of person who sees spirits or even necessarily believe in ghosts, but like a family member of mine that was really close came and was like showing me like a lot of love. And even right now as I'm talking about it, it feels so weird because it's like part of me is like, I went to a world and I seen things and my ancestors talked to me and I seen spirits. Aliens too. They told me aliens is real. Aliens.
Facts.
The spirits told me I'm part of some type of Earth mission, and I'm like, what do I have to do? And it was like, you're already doing what you have to do. You don't have to do anything at all. And that went for everybody. It was like everybody that's part of the mission. There's no instructions. You're doing what you're supposed to do just by being here. And so it's like, part of me is like, I seen all these things, and I went to the other side, and part of me was like, well, does the mushroom just reinforce my delusions? Like,
that's the question. Facts, though.
That's the question. I'm still having a hard time seeing. Did I cross over and see aliens and spirits and ghosts of my ancestors, or did I just see Because I already believe in ancestors, and but man, I don't listen.
See,
But that's the thing, though.
Strong mind, man.
This is the thing, though. I would wager to say there has never been a space or an existence in which what you don't, in which what you believe doesn't exist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What you believe absolutely exists.
Perspective is
and that's
everything.
the thing
with that,
that's
bro.
amazing about creation is that people can believe two completely polar opposite things, and they both exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that you were reinforcing delusions. I felt like you were tasting the reality that informs your spirit. Like, you know what I mean? The part of reality that's connected to you is you went to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and that's it was powerful. It was extreme. I don't think I'll be doing 10 grams anytime soon.
I was going to ask, would you do it again?
I highly don't recommend it.
Yeah.
But if you hear that and you think I want to do it, do it.
Okay.
Like if you hear I highly don't recommend it, you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Do it.
No, I would not. That doesn't
If
sound
you
like
hear it, you're like, I don't want to do it. Just please don't do it because it takes definitely like as strong as I
Conviction.
am, as strong as I am mentally, I wasn't prepared for how not in control I was going to be.
Yeah, but isn't it? I mean, that's the question I got for you is what was the reason to take 10?
The reason to take 10 is because I feel blockages inside myself. I want to reach new levels. I want to see new things. I want to be the Dosh that I was always meant to be. And I wanted to see inside myself, like inside my inner workings, and see what was blocking me.
Right.
What was holding me back from like my full potential.
So you didn't want to have control, right? Is that correct?
I didn't want to have control. I didn't. But I did. It's two things. I didn't want to have control because I thought that I had it. I thought that my mind was center, and I thought that I could take it. So it's like I don't need to have control because I'll just be calm and in my center, and I'll just watch, and I'll just be the silent observer. That's what I like to call myself, a silent observer.
Right.
There was nothing silent about that
No.
observation.
It was not what you expected.
Like I remember
Yeah.
at one point feeling like, okay, this is what it feels like to be schizophrenic. Like I remember feeling like the people on the street that hear the voices, oh, they're really hearing these voices. They're really seeing these spirits because I'm hearing the voices and seeing the spirits that they're hearing. And I kind of always wanted to know what it felt like to see ghosts or be a psychic or kind of be in touch with that other world. And as I was on a trip and as I was experiencing it, I can remember like kind of praying to God to like bring me back into my body because it was so much. And I'm like, so anybody who actually deals with this like for work, in their dreams, through mental illness, it's a lot more empathy for that. Yeah, for sure.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's heavy. I mean, because that was where I was going. Like, I just wanted to know because you taking 10. There's no reason to fight this
10,
thing.
you trying to
you
win.
fighting this thing.
Yeah. It's almost like the only fight was like to fight to live. And now that I'm here and I'm not high no more, I realized I was just high as fuck. Like I was never gonna die. Death was never at my door. Like actually, like I was like gonna stop breathing or anything. It was all internally. And there's also a part of me because when death was inviting me in, I just convinced myself, we're here. We love our kids, and we kind of went on with the mission. But what if I would have because it was my ego. What if I would have gave in? Okay, death, let's join you onto the other side. What type of things would I have seen or would that have opened
came
me
back
up
with
to?
a different mindset.
Yeah, like a different mindset, a different approach. So it's something to think about if I do want to. Next time I think I'm going to go 5. And then maybe 10 next year. Maybe.
See, when I do when I've done DMT with you, the first initial, like the end of the second hit, but going into the third hit, it always feels like turmoil. It feels like the end.
That is so.
It feels like the shit is
10
over.
grams is a DMT trip spread out over 5 hours.
And
the same
I'm good off of that.
intensity of the DMT trip is that same thing.
bet.
But for 5 hours, it was.
What you're describing is definitely that. But the thing that I enjoy about it is it pushes me to be convicted in my decision